Let's start out first with the term everybody's got on their lips, generative AI. What else do you see happening with regard to generative AI and how it's going to impact workloads and data and everything that you're dealing with?
Yeah, that's the hot topic right now. We believe that generative AI has tremendous potential, Doug, and you would see it everywhere. Every conversation that you go in, every 15 minutes or so, generative AI or LLM kind of terminologies they get thrown out. We definitely believe that generative AI is going to really democratize automation. And as you might have noticed in my presentation, we talk about how generative AI can power automation and automation can power generative AI. And what we mean by that is to run good, healthy generative AI and LLM initiatives, enterprises need good, high quality data. And that high quality data can be collected and in a compliant manner only through good automation systems behind the scenes, which is extension of data pipelines or extensions of the data orchestration related processes that enterprises have. Now, the second aspect of generative AI is going to be about automating the point automation systems. Like traditionally, if you look at how automation was done, you build some scripts, you write some code, and that gives you point automation of processes. And then you string them together through orchestration technologies. That's where we excel. So the point automation is going to be democratized largely because you have easy generation of scripts, easy generation of code. That's going to be available through generative AI. The third piece where we see generative AI is going to democratize automation is improving the user experience for users who are trying to build processes or trying to stitch together smaller processes into large end-to-end business processes and guiding that user experience through conversational AI to make it easy, to make it barrier-free is another area. And similarly, we want to do that for the operator's user experience, people who are running this automation during the runtime and their ability to monitor and troubleshoot and quickly fix issues arising out of automation with the help of conversational AI behind the scenes.
So I'm curious about what we're seeing with regard to the proliferation of AI and the implications that that has on workloads. It strikes me that workloads are going to grow exponentially in organizations based upon all of the automation that can begin to happen and the automation that will lead to other automation and this kind of agentic approach that we're starting to see. I mean, where do you see this going in terms of how organizations are going to have to deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the theme of today's talk, isn't it? From chaos to control. What we are seeing is that automation tools are proliferating. And you need more automation tools because there are skill sets that are varied in the organization. Right? Traditionally, historically, one of the major challenges that has been around scaling automation in enterprises is that need for specialized skill sets. On the other hand, you would see there are people who have got ideas and they know how to improve business processes, but they do not have the required skills. And that has been the real chasm between an automated or autonomous enterprise and an enterprise which is trying to automate more. And as a result of that, you see people pick up different tools that is easier to build automation on, that's easier to learn, that probably is providing better time to value. But all of this leads to what we call chaos for operations because these tools are disparate. They do not talk to each other. It's really difficult to put all of this into production and reliably monitor your business processes end to end. And to get this chaos sorted through a platform, what we recommend is an orchestration approach, an approach which also facilitates end to end observability through a platform.
So I'm curious, I mean, what you're seeing in regard to all of the organizations that you're working with. I know you're working with 60% of the Fortune 1000. I mean, the world is moving so fast. And it strikes me that these organizations are going to be under massive amounts of stress for the demand from their employees to get the tools that are enabling them to perform at the highest levels, but also having to balance out, where they need to have controls on some of these tools, with regard to the implications around data security and the other controls. Um, what what tips would you provide to folks right now with regard to how they should be thinking about planning for this sort of thing? I know you guys have given some thought to it because you're now developing and launching new solutions, but what are you saying to, or what would you be saying to the technical people within these large organizations about what they need to be preparing for?
Yeah, sure. So there are three parts to that question, Doug. How do we really make sure that an average enterprise user is able to build more automation using this platform? And that's where we already touched upon the idea of democratizing the automation with the help of generative AI and providing conversational AI experiences. In general, historically, we have been supportive of a no code, low code way of building automation, orchestrating automation, so that a user who does not really have deeper coding or scripting skills can go ahead and build more automation or can go ahead and build orchestration of processes. So that's where we reduce barrier for users, for different departments, line of businesses that want to go and do more automation. In terms of security, because these platforms, including ours, are responsible for running business critical workloads, security is paramount. And hence, we provide a higher degree of security controls, starting from transport layer security, or it's over HTTPS communication between clients and servers, or agents and workload engines. We support all types of single sign-on mechanisms so that users can use standard enterprise single sign-on methods. We have a very stringent internal security vulnerability scanning and remediation policy that applies to all our products, including Atomic, which is the subject of discussion today. And as far as the technical guidance is concerned, um, users or customers who are using the platform in their private data centers in on-premises environments, if they're trying to adopt the new system, the SaaS platform, they have now the ability to go ahead and use a simple upgrade or a simple promotion of content into the new environment, which we have facilitated for several years for promoting content from lower environments to upper environments. So it's a click of a few buttons or typing of a few commands and moving the content from the on-premise environment to the SaaS environment. Now, additionally, we also want to make sure that customers who aren't really ready to adopt everything at once and moving their workloads from on-premise environment to the SaaS environment, they have the flexibility to move it in a phased manner. So they can move one business area or one department to the SaaS environment and retain the rest in their private data center. Or additionally, if they have another department which is wanting to automate more and they want to go ahead with SaaS, they can go ahead and onboard that department on the SaaS platform.
Yeah, so this is something we've seen through our growth at Solutions Review. This slow and deliberate and kind of relentless move to the cloud. When we first started, 12 years ago, there was a lot of resistance in moving to the cloud, but we've definitely seen that starting to mitigate. And I'm curious whether or not there's a way for people to calculate savings that can come from moving to the cloud, because there's certainly a lot. I mean, you can see what you've put into in terms of thought with regard to all of the objections that people might have. You've clearly created a solution that handles most of those. There are benefits, clear benefits, and one of them, I think, is savings. Do you have some thoughts around how people can think about that?
Yeah, definitely. The obvious ones are going to be around infrastructure cost savings, and that's been the primary business case behind moving to the cloud or any SaaS solution. So you save your database software fee. Database administration itself is quite expensive in many enterprises. So you save on database and administration and operating system, virtualized environments, monitoring and security, upgrading the system, patching the system, and running it securely. And all of that requires a lot of effort, a lot of cost, and a lot of dedication from people who can otherwise focus on more strategic automation initiatives. So I guess that's the obvious one. But if you look at the other software aspects, when you go to a SaaS platform, specifically Atomic SaaS environment, where you get access to the latest features sooner, and hence you can double down on your innovation around automation using those latest features from the SaaS platform. Other software benefits include, since it's running in a cloud environment, the latency, the connectivity to other cloud platforms and services running in those cloud platforms would be easier and smoother compared to the traditional on-premise data centers. Now, the biggest benefit in our mind around this is the ability to free up the center of excellence, which has traditionally focused on building, managing, running, patching the platform. Now that COE can rather focus on more strategic automation initiatives and be the true champion of automation in the enterprise by working with the line of businesses.
This was great. Very much appreciated that presentation and all that you've covered. Thanks very much for the time today, and best of luck going forward for the rest of the year.
Thank you, Doug. Thanks again for having me.
If your business would like to be featured in a future event, contact us today.